Hey guys, thank you for visiting my channel today. Now in this tutorial I will share 10 of my most favorite exercises to strengthen your lower body, your legs and your glutes. We pole dancers, we need to take care of our lower body as well, and that's the reason why I made this tutorial specifically. The only thing that you're going to need are resistance bands, hopefully many of them, so you can find the right resistance band for a specific exercise so you can feel the burn. I'm going to show you 5 isolated exercises for a specific muscle group and 5 more functional exercises. I usually like to start with the functional ones because you always need more muscle groups than one to be working at the same time, so not to lose the focus and to make sure that my legs aren't dead. That's why I usually start with the functional ones, but you can do it the other way around as well. So hope you're warm and ready before you start, okay? And let's go. So in the first exercise I'm going to use a really thick resistance band, and I tied it up to the pole, as you can see here. You can put it a little bit lower down than your hips. Step into the band, put it onto your hips and walk away until you start to feel nice good resistance. Now I usually like to take a little bit of a wider squat position, so the knees will go slightly out. Just make sure your feet are pointing at the same direction where your knees are looking, okay? So that means try to focus not to do this, most definitely. And if you're having trouble with the knees, I always suggest to take a band, one more band, of course, why not? And put it right underneath your knees, just to make sure you do not lose the focus. So now you walk away. Make sure your toes are engaged into the floor, open, and that you actually feel the foot is pressing into the floor. That's very important. Now once you're going down, you're not going to feel the resistance, except the resistance from the band that's onto your knees. So push those knees out. And once you're coming up, you're going to squeeze the glutes in extension, and you're going to exhale at that moment. If you feel like that's too easy, walk a little bit even more. Now I'm walking outside the camera already, okay? As you can see, I'm a little bit in a diagonal position, just to make sure that my glutes are working more. Squeeze, going down, come up, exhale, engage. Down, exhale, engage. Now I know that squats are nothing new to most of the people, but judging from the students that I teach daily, I see that they're missing out some of the baselines of the squat technique. So make sure you're actually doing the work with your legs rather than with your back here. I'm exaggerating, just focus on your technique. You're moving through your hips, through your legs as low as you want, as low as you need. As low as you can hold your hips open and your back straight. And once you move up, the impulse is coming from your feet to connect to your glutes, so your back does not collapse. So you have to push those knees out and make sure your glutes are working here. Of course the legs will be working as well, but try to focus that you feel the burn in your glutes, in your legs. I'm going to change a little bit the angle so you can see what my legs are doing here. I'm pushing my toes into the floor just to make sure I'm not shifting my technique. Okay, I always suggest to do at least 3 sets of these type of exercises. You can rest 1 minute between the sets. If you need more, you can rest 1.5 minutes, but that's quite enough if you're not doing actual weights, okay? So rest 10 repetitions and then do this again, 3 sets overall. While you're resting, I'm going to show you the common mistakes in the squats, and that's the reason why I started using resistance bands in my own workouts. because you are only as strong as your weakest link. So if those are your legs or your knees or your ankles or your back or your core or everything of that, you need to focus on those weak links and strengthen them. And you can very easily see which those links are. So if you would film yourself doing a squat, you can always see what's the mistake. What I see mostly in my students in a squat is this. So that you see that my back is working more than actually my legs. So it's something in between the Romanian or any kind of deadlift and the squat. So it's neither this or that. So make up your mind. Are you doing a squat or are you doing a deadlift? Okay? That's number one mistake that I usually see. So make sure you're actually working with your legs. Now I know not everyone can do a deep squat position. Not everyone is as mobile as me showing you this, okay? I understand that. That means just don't go so low. Go here. Work here. And as you can see, hopefully you can see those toes of mine. Both feet are so engaged and so focused on pushing myself up through the glutes and through the strength of my legs. So if you want this exercise to strengthen your legs, you have to focus on the muscle group that's actually working here. You have to think about the muscles that are engaged, okay? To just develop the muscle-brain connection a little bit more. Next thing, next mistake what I see very often are knees. Once you're doing the squat, knees are a little bit moving inward. Sometimes they shake a little bit, that's okay. I have seen this, well it's not okay, but I have seen this, or they just move like this. So you have two options here. Either you put your feet a little bit more together, focus on your knees going forward where your feet are pointing, or take the band and focus on pushing those knees out once you do the squat. And feel the energy that's coming through your legs and through your glutes to make this exercise complete. Okay, so if you rested, please do 2 more sets of these with the band, both bands, or just with the one band, whatever you feel like. Okay, now I'm going to show you the next exercise. This is going to be just with one band, so quite boring, right? So I'm going to put the band right underneath my knees. I'm going to take my squat position. I like it wider because I like for the outside of my legs work a little bit more and engaging the glutes a little bit more than the quads. So if you're taking a more shallow position, your quads will be working more. You will feel the burn more here. If you take wider position, everything is still working, but the more focus you might feel, on your glutes. Okay, it just depends which position, which squat position you're trying to develop, in which position you want to progress, or which muscle group you want to exhaust. So, okay, now here you're going to take your lowest position of your squat. So my lowest position that I can hold is here. See? This is my position, which I can hold. I can go lower, but this is going to be very difficult for me to hold for a longer while. So find that position which you can hold and engage. It can be also here. Just make sure your core is engaged, your back is straight, and that you're actually connecting with your legs here rather than pushing your butt out and doing this. Okay, this is not a squat. This, I don't want to say bad names, but this is something that I would like you not to do. So pull, move your butt down, make sure your core is engaged and your back is straight, all right? So, and we're going to take the lower position and we're going to walk into that position. And of course we're going to do a little bit of a jumps as well. So we're going to go into our squat position, we're going to take one step to our right and the other leg follows. Left follows. Start with this one, follow, and hold your position. Ooh, you're gonna feel the burn. Okay, do 6 to 10 of these. Right away, extend, inhale, exhale, go back to this position. Now we move back and back and Also, the same count, 6 to 10, as much as you can, as many as you can. Back, extend, you can shake it out, and right away we're moving to a little bit of a jumps. So, squat, open, back. Breathe. Also 6 to 10 reps. Once you're done, shake it out, rest for a minute, and get back at it. Also, this exercise I would suggest you to do 3 sets if you want to actually feel that your legs were working today. Now while you're resting, again I'm going to give you a little bit of tips how not to screw up your squatting. So I like to do squats with my bare feet very often, even in a gym. I don't care what people think of me. And so you should understand that you have foot, and this is balance point 1, this is balance point 2, and the heel is 3. So you want to connect with these pillows and with the heel all the way through each squat. So if you're wearing very shallow, very small shoes, you will not be able to do that. You will not feel that your big toe is actually trying to push into the floor. If your big toe is not pushing into the floor as well, like the rest of them, that means your balance point 1, which is here, okay, sorry, dirty feet, balance point 1 is not actually working. Therefore, if your foot is not working properly, your knee will definitely fall inward. The technique with the knees comes through your feet. Technique to your squats comes through your feet. Technique to your walking, to your everything what you're doing on your feet comes through your feet. So try to be more aware what your feet are doing. What are your toes doing? Are you actually feeling the push from your toes when you're coming up from each squat? Okay, I'm gonna remind you the exercise once more. You went into a lower position, you walk right, you walk left. 6 to 10 reps, yes. From here you walk, boom, boom, 6 to 10 reps. Come up, inhale, exhale, go back, and we go open and jumps. Small jumps, soft jumps, try to notice how you are landing, okay? You're landing through your feet, through your toes, never through your heel, okay? Heel is the last thing that touches the floor from your land, okay? And it's the first thing that comes off the floor when you're trying to jump up. Try to feel this connection, so it will help you improve the technique very greatly. The third exercise, again with the thick band that it's tied up to something. Now if you're training at home, what I used to do at home when I was during COVID, I had to train, so I was putting the band into the door. So this thick band into the door, and it actually helped me very well with this exercise. So just try to find a way where to put it where it's safe, so it's not going to break your door or you. So right now we're putting the band on to our hips, and you start to jump forward into your squat position. Again, the same squat position. The squat you are training, the same squat you will land into, okay? So you kind of already know where to go, how low can you go, and how you have to land and do everything, okay? So you're gonna jump forward as far as you can with the band. So first, you're gonna take a squat position. I'm gonna walk a little bit further away to feel the resistance right away. Shallow squat, helping with the arms, and I'm gonna jump forward, boom, and run back. So as you can see, the band pulls me right back. Your job here is to land, connect, extend, and then slowly come back. If you wanted to make it more cardio workout, you can run back faster. Just make sure you're not letting the band control you. You are controlling the band, okay? So you jump, extend, run back. Jump, extend, run back, run back, run back, run back. And I would suggest you to film your first set so you can see is your technique collapsing. So my torso here goes a little bit lower down. That's my problem. It's not necessarily bad, but I want my legs to work even more. Therefore, now I'm gonna focus not to go here, but to actually go deeper into my squat. Make sure you're connecting your toes with the floor, not to let the band pull you right back. I would suggest 10 of these. If you feel like the band is too difficult, take an easier band. 8 to 10 reps. Rest 30 seconds to a minute between and get back at it. Also 3 sets are advised to this one as well. Next exercise is again with this band. I just love these exercises. Now, if you know a guy in Instagram, knees over toes guy, he's an amazing guy. I would suggest you to follow him, especially if you already have some kind of knee injuries, okay? He's a very smart dude, so this exercise is inspired from him. So going backwards, pulling backwards is also a very important movement in our daily life as well on the pole if we want to be functional in our physical abilities, not just being able to go up and down, but actually be ready to going backwards as well. So you take the band, put the band on your butt, somewhere there, pull yourself back and make sure you're not arching here. Tuck in and your body weight moves already back. So you're helping to pull the band back with your body weight, but you're kind of in a light squat position. Your core is engaged, your feet are in control, your legs, your quads should be burning. Your feet are working hard here, yes, and your quads are burning. So to make this a little bit more interesting, we're gonna pull the band, run, and very slowly in control back. Run, slowly back, run, slowly back, run. I'm working a lot with my feet. My legs are slightly bent, so my quads are burning already. Just make sure you're pushing off from one leg and then you're switching and pushing off from the other leg. So it's not like you're working just from the one side. And if you want yourself to make this even more interesting, you can go around and play with this a little bit more. Yes, you can challenge yourself, surprise yourself. The band is pulling, and this will make your exercise so functional because you're trying to pull with different sides of your body. Different kind of muscle groups are engaging here. Yes, so there is no count to this one. I usually do this exercise. I'm pulling until I feel the burn, and I go a little bit more until I feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna collapse. That's when I stop, take a breather, 30 seconds to 1 minute, depends on how crazy you just went, okay? And 3 sets of this exercise as well. Trust me, your legs will feel the burn and all of your body is working in this one. Just make sure you're not arching, you're leaning back, controlling your core, and pull, go back. So as you see, I'm going back. Now I'm pushing from my left foot, going back, pushing from my right foot. Change those feet, okay? So it's not like only one foot is active during the push-off, that the first push-off, which is the hardest one. The first one is always the hardest one. So make sure you're switching your legs, okay guys? So take a breather. 2 more sets to go, guys. The next exercise is actually 2 exercises, but I count it as 1 exercise, so it would make 10 exercises, not 11. But who cares about the count, right? So we're gonna go to the band again. If you did 3 sets of the previous one, you would feel like, oh my God, again, the band, seriously? But yes, we still have more with the band. So now you're gonna walk away, where it feels like, okay, I feel the resistance and it's getting a little bit difficult to control it. And you take a step back with one leg. You want to draw a line on your floor, wherever that is. It can be even closer, okay? Just, you have to make sure that you feel the resistance. And you can always take an easier resistance band. Usually I'm doing this with the yellow one, then it's not so thick as this one, but this is the only band that I have in the studio. So I have to try to do this with this band to show you how to do this. So you're going to go into the lunge position. As you can see, my upper body is again moving a little bit forward, backwards. And we're going to do a lunge jump, help with the arms. And boom. And your task is not to let the band pull you closer. Okay? So here, I have a little bit of an injured ankle, so I cannot show you this on my 100%. So I'm being very cautious here. But you can do this faster, or you can do this slower as I am doing it here. Actually, to be honest, faster is easier, because with the momentum and the speed, it's kind of easier to hold the band. Once you stop, you have to control, control, control. So I like to put something on the floor to see which line I should try not to cross here. As you can see, I put the block. So I will try not to cross the block. Exhale on each count. Make sure your knees are not collapsing. And you can go faster. Just make sure you're not screwing up your technique if you start to go faster. Back is straight. Knees, both legs are parallel, okay? I'm going to show you from a different angle so you can see that in each landing, I'm focused extremely, not to make sure that my knees are not walking somewhere here, or the legs are somewhere here, or doing something like this, okay? You can always take an easier band. And this nice little exercise, you will combine. So you did as many as you can till you start to breathe. Just count as many as you can, so that next set you're doing the same count. For example, it was 10, 4, or 2. I don't know, whichever count, how many reps you can do. And again, you take the band. Now we're going to do the same, but we're going to do the lunge jumps forward. Yes? So the same, help with the arms, and try to imagine the line, to which line you want to reach. And the same. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And you can speed up if you want. Everything is happening through your toes. Yes? Also, as many reps as you can. Then you rest for a minute and go back at it and do 2 more sets of this, okay? Lunge jumps pulling backward, lunge jumps pulling forward, okay? And your core is working here. Posture should be nice and strong, okay? Make sure you're not collapsing in your upper back. Feel the energy from your feet, okay? And if it's too difficult, do it slower. Film yourself, check your technique, okay? Or ask a coach if you have one. Are you doing this okay? Or just take an easier band, okay? This green one is terribly difficult band, okay? It's very hard to work with this one, but it's very challenging, yes? So, remember, 2 more sets, take a rest, not more than 1 minute. You did a hardcore exercises, 5 exercises, well in total 6 exercises with minimum rest, 3 sets hopefully, so now is the time to move to your isolated 5 exercises, okay? My legs are already a little bit shaky, so that's why it's nice to work on isolation after these kind of exercises. Because I'm sure that when I was doing the challenging exercises, the demanding exercises, you want to feel as fresh as you can to make sure that the muscle groups that needs to be engaged are engaging. I'm not dying. So right now, I'm gonna take small resistance band, put it onto your feet, and we're gonna start with hip thrusts, okay? And put it onto your hips, here. Yes, just make sure you do not let go the band. So my legs are hip wide. My heels are underneath my knees, okay? If you're gonna feel a lot hamstring work here in this exercise, that means that your legs are a little bit too far. Move them closer. You wanna feel your glutes, so your abs should be burning in this exercise. So through exhale, you're gonna push up and move down. So here it's important that you feel the impulse from your glutes. Through exhale, you can just hit your glutes a little bit with your fist, like, just make sure that your ass is working properly here, okay? Through exhale, I like always to do 10 exercises with 10 pulses in the end if I'm doing this with a resistance band. You can do more if you feel like. Just make sure when you're coming down, see, I'm kind of tucking in and moving my spine down bone by bone. So you're not falling on your tailbone. Your tailbone is the last thing that touches the floor, okay? Through exhale. And on the 10th, you just go up and pulse. But if you feel like this is too easy or the band is very easy for you, you can always make this harder for yourself. You can work with one leg. So lift up the other leg like this. And now you're gonna do the effort with the one leg with the same resistance, and it's gonna feel a lot more challenging. Through exhale. Yes, and you can just slightly fist bump your butt to make sure it's engaging and focusing and working properly. And once on the 10th you're up, we go 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go down and switch the other leg. And the band is right underneath the heel. Lift up. This leg is not working. Yes, everything is happening through your glutes here. Through exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, of course, this exercise also should be done 3 sets. Now, between isolated exercises, you don't need to rest for a minute, okay? You can rest 30 seconds and go back at it. 2 more sets of this exercise and you will feel a nice good burn in your glutes. Next exercise is for your quads. So you can sit next to a wall. I will sit next to the pole. Back is straight, my butt is right to the pole, here. Now, you're going to put the band on your ankles, the same band, or you can take an easier band. To make sure that you're taking the right band, you just have to try it and feel if you can actually execute the exercise, or it's too difficult or too easy. So my back is straight, I'm sitting next to a wall, my legs are slightly bent. I'm going to put blocks between one leg like this, as you can see. So I'm fixating this leg. So if it's going to be right back into the air, when I'm going to do extension without the blocks, the leg will move and I might not extend the knee to the fullest. You want full extension here so your quad is working. Legs are hip wide. You can hold the blocks for them not to fall. The other leg is pushed into the floor. Extend and hold. 3, 2, 1. And 3, 2, 1. Back is straight. 3, 2, 1. And 3, 2, 1. And 3, 2, 1. And 3, 2, 1. 3 more. Slowly lowering down, okay? Don't let it fall. You're controlling the band, not the other way around. You can flex the foot here as well if you feel like it, okay? And changing the other leg. Here, no rest between. You will do the other leg. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. This exercise will be combined with one more exercise. Here, tuck in your tailbone. Make sure you have a nice line here. You can hold your arms in front like this, or put them right here. Make sure your glutes are engaged, your tailbone is in. Imagine you're squeezing a nut between your butt cheeks. You want to hold that nut all the way through this exercise. Lower down and come up. This one you do as many as you can. You don't have to always go to the lowest position. It's sometimes enough to not go as low as you feel like it, just as low as you can control. And if you want to challenge, you can always go lower down, hold it a little bit, and slowly come up. So, just make sure your legs are more or less hip-wide position once you're doing this, and that you're not collapsing, okay? Make sure you hold your line. This exercise can be done also like this, okay? You don't have to go through to the extreme to accomplish this one. And without the rest, you sit next to your wall, put the band back up, and start over. 1, 2, 10 counts, one leg, 10 counts, other leg, and boom, boom, and going down as many as you can. 3 sets all together with this exercise without rest, okay? Of course, if you feel like you cannot focus, you take a rest, 15 seconds, but this is not very challenging in a way of your heart needs to rest. I would rather make you exhaust your quads to make sure that engagement is there and that they are actually trying to progress, okay? It has to be hard. You have to feel the burn if you want your muscles to get stronger. And for them to get stronger, yes, they might get bigger, okay? Because that's the way the things work. If you want to be strong, some things can get bigger, okay? Because they are growing, and with the growth, they are getting stronger, okay? So moving on to the next exercise. This is one of my absolute favorite exercises that I have been doing for years, and only recently I found out that I can make it even harder for me, and that means for you guys as well. So Bulgarian split squat. I'm gonna take 4 blocks to put the other leg onto something, okay? But you can take a little bit of a chair or something there you can put the leg on. Some people put the leg on their toes. I like to put it like on the feet. I like to put it onto the toes like this, but it's also as you please. You can put it like this, because usually, especially in guys, if you put the foot like this, once we go lower down into our Bulgarian split squat, you might not feel comfortable in your ankle. Since my ankles are very mobile, I feel more comfortable with this position of the foot. But if you don't like this position, you can always put it like this. Okay, not to challenge your ankle too much. Just be aware. If you're comfortable with the exercise, as much comfortable as you can be. So the next thing about Bulgarian split squat is, if you want the focus to your Bulgarian split squat be on your glutes, you have to take a little bit of a wider position and lean a little bit forward like this. So quite wide position. So the focus will be more on your glutes, a little bit more. So if you want to focus more on your quad, the front leg is working here, okay guys? Then you take a more shallow position, and in this one you will feel your quad burn a lot more than in your previous position. It's also what muscle group you want to exhaust more, that the position you take. Just make sure you're not breaking your technique. So I'm going to take this kind of band here. You can take any type of band, okay? Green one, if you're very crazy, you can take this thick one, okay? And you're going to put it underneath your foot. So I'm starting with my right leg. I'm going to put the band underneath my right. Right underneath the foot. Place the leg. Make sure my squat position is just the way I want it to be. Take the band. Come up. Pull the band. Don't work with your arms. Through your leg, the extension is happening. As you can see, my torso is moving slightly forward rather than backwards. You do not want to create an arch in your lower back. Let your leg work. Through exhale, you're coming up. 4. Push your toes into the floor. 5. Make sure your knee is not moving. 7. 8. 9 and 10. So I usually like to take a wider position because I like my glutes to work more. But trust me, either position you take, your glutes and your quads will work anyway. So just take the position which you feel more comfortable with. If you're undecided about this one, and switching legs. Take the band so you can actually feel the resistance. Take it closer to your foot if you want to feel it more. Make sure the foot is pointing forward and the knee is looking at the same direction where the foot is pointing. Coming up, extend. Going down with control. Through exhale, extend with control. 4. 5. Through exhale, we're coming up. 6. Push from the toes and from the heel. 8. 9. And 10. Yes. Ooh, the band is very good to make you start to be aware how much your foot has to work for the knee not to move. First of all. Second of all, if your foot is working and you're actually feeling the heel point also being on the floor, you will feel how glutes connect through the heel even more. So I usually do this 10 reps each leg for 3 sets. See if you have enough with 30-second rest between. If no, you can take a rest for a minute, but I would suggest you rest less, work more, and your workout will be a lot more faster, quicker, and therefore your suffering will be shorter, okay? So moving on to the next exercise. So the last 2 exercises, you need to put the band a little bit higher up. And just make sure that this thick one is not too much for you. You can always take less challenging band, tie it up where you need to, okay? Just make sure you don't want to be breaking anything here. So in my experience, hamstrings and abductor muscle group that are inner thighs are so underrated, especially for pole dancers. So those muscle groups are actually very important to protecting our knee joint. Not only to make your legs look good, to be strong, but to actually protect yourself from injuries. When you are jumping, when you're landing, when you're doing stuff, if your upper part of the leg is strong, it doesn't matter if your weak link is your inner thighs or your hamstrings, you are just moving closer to injuring your knees or your ankles, okay? I'm saying this from experience. I didn't have injuries like this and I really do not want to. That's why I'm always trying to balance out my workouts. We're gonna start with the hamstrings, okay? You can go with easier ones where you're putting both legs into the band, or if your band is too easy, you can put one leg into the band. I will show you both variations. I'm moving a little bit further away from the pole here, so my feet are not touching the pole and legs are hanging up in the air. So move away. Push your heels down and lift up your butt. If you feel like, oh, my heels are touching the floor, like in this, you got to put your band higher, okay? Didn't plan like this, but well, actually good tip. Put it higher so your feet are in the air once you go down. So, now, let's try once more. Press the feet down, see my butt is up. So from here you're gonna keep pressing the feet down and bend the legs and extend the legs. And try not to move your body. Of course glutes are working here, why not? But you should feel that your hamstrings are working. Hamstrings are doing the leg flexion here, okay? So you want to feel a maximum engagement here. That's why keep pressing the band down and then pull the legs. Press the band down, pull the legs, and breathe. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can rest a little bit. If you feel like my band is too easy for this, you want this to make it harder, you can always do this exercise with one leg. Lift up the other leg and work with one leg. I always suggest single leg exercises because we are not equally strong on our both sides, and usually doing single leg or single arm exercises, you can feel which part of your body is weaker, and that's good to be aware of that and to focus on that more. So if you can, try to do this exercise maybe with one leg then the other. You can flex the foot, point the foot, it doesn't matter as long as you feel that this part of your leg, the posterior part of your leg, the lower part is working. I'm switching, and make sure your butt is high, lift it up from the floor and keep breathing. And remember, you're the one that are controlling the band, not the other way around. Once this is done, extend the legs. Remember about that nut in your butt, okay? Now, put the nut in your butt, squeeze it, and from here, you're gonna control your position, just press your legs down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest for 30 seconds and go back at it, okay? Either you're working with one leg, especially if you had a knee injury already, you have to work with one leg. You have to strengthen the leg that it's weaker, because usually the stronger side of our body will do the work more. So that's why it's very important to be aware of that and to make the weaker side work as well. So that's why I would suggest you to work one leg at the time and then do the press down, okay? For the posterior part of your body, okay? Rest and do 2 more sets, okay? Of this exercise. And the last exercise in this tutorial, finally guys, is for your inner thighs, for your adductor muscles. This is basically, I think, one of the best exercises for adductors that I could find and a little bit recreate. So I'm really happy about this exercise. Not sure if the exercise is happy about me. So I'm putting the upper leg into the band. I'm moving on my elbow is right underneath your shoulder. Lift up your butt. So right now you're in a side plank position. Yes, it's already hard. Now you have to make it even more harder. Press the leg down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold. 5 to 10 seconds. Keep pressing the leg down. You should feel that your inner thigh is burning as well as your side. Your obliques are working here to actually hold the plank position. So if you're onto the pole, the band, like my band is onto the pole, you can put the lower foot onto the pole as well and make it like this, if you feel like it, to make it a little bit more interesting, if you feel like it. And of course, I'm switching the legs. Now my butt will face the audience. Sorry for that. Put the leg, 10 reps. Place the elbow underneath your shoulder. You can hold the other arm up behind your back or head or wherever it's comfortable, and press the leg down and make sure the movement is happening through your inner thigh. If you feel like it's not pressing down, your knees are hurting at this one, that means you need an easier, a lighter band. Hold at least for 5 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds, and rest. Rest for 15 to 30 seconds and then get back at it. Pulse down and hold for as long as you can. Okay, I like to do these exercises with the hamstrings and adductors exercises actually in a row. So I'm doing the hamstring exercise with the neck, leg flexion, with the back pulsion down, and then I'm going right at this exercise and doing the 3 sets of that. But you can do it separately like I just showed you. Yes. So as I said in the beginning, you can mix these exercises up. You can actually do one functional, one isolated exercise, whatever way you want to do them. It doesn't matter as long as you're feeling good, as long as you're feeling ready and you do not feel exhausted while you're doing this. For me, this is easier. For me, doing the functional exercises prior to isolated exercises, I feel that my body feels better that way, but you can do it your own way. So hopefully you made it through this workout. We're doing 3 sets of each exercise with minimum rest, and if you did so, please let me know in the comment section how did it go, how were the exercises, how hard or how easy did it feel. Maybe you have some suggestions or some things that were not feeling very good about the exercises. Just let me know, and you can write suggestions in the comment section as well if you have anything to say or anything to ask. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you next time.